Okay, we're going to do the training on the SKIDATA parking barrier. First things first, this is the SKIDATA parking barrier head. It takes a 5mm Allen wrench to open it up. It has 3 bolts in it. You don't really need to crank these down really hard. It has a rubber seal around it, so you want to make sure it's snug, but not hard enough to crack any plastic or strip out anything. Inside you have the electronics. Now, there are 2 traffic loops in the ground, one over in front of the actual reader and one underneath this gate arm. Inside the gate you have the loop detector, which detects vehicles on the 2 loops that are in the ground in this lane. Red lights will come on when there is a car on the loop. It has a reset button also on it to tune the loops. If it ever gets stuck thinking there's a car there, that there's not really a car there, just hit the reset button. The other functions of the gate, this relay comes from the access control system. When the red light is on, that means it's getting an affirmative card read that'll open this gate. Just underneath this loop detector, there's an on and off switch to this gate. If you are doing anything, taking the arm off or doing anything like that, we would suggest turning it off, just so it doesn't come up while you have a tool attached to it. You'll notice on there when she goes through with her car, you'll see the lights turn on for the loops and turn back off when she goes out of it. If that light on that relay is stuck on, that means that's coming from the access system. So if you call us and say, hey, my gate won't go down, I'll ask you, is the relay light on? Or is the loop detector lights on? Meaning it thinks there's a car in the lane.
The loop detector, it's you. If it's the card reader, it's somebody else.
Yes.
Relay detector.
Yes. There's some input-outputs inside this metal box. We would recommend not getting in there. You shouldn't have to unless there's a failure that you'll probably need to talk to ProtectionTech about. Let's do the gate itself. So there are certain instances that someone will run into the gate. The arm is designed with nylon nuts that are in it, so the gate will come off without damaging the coupler or the gate itself. Every once in a while, if they hit it good enough, your gate will shift to an outward position. There are 3 nuts you've got to loosen up. You don't need to take them off. This one, and there's actually one behind the loop detector, so the loop detector will pull out of its socket to get to that one. And the nut is back here. You loosen those with a 17mm socket wrench and just shift it to where it's straight and tighten it back down. Now we'll go over the arm itself. There's 2 nylon nuts, one on top and one on bottom. That's taken off with an 8mm Allen wrench. So just loosen these up and on bottom. I usually hold this end while I take it off and just kind of take it off. When you put it back on, since this is an articulating arm, meaning it bends in the middle, this socket here needs to fit onto that socket there. That means you've got to have the gate arm up for that socket to fit on. Once that's on there a little bit, you can tighten it back up. These don't need to be cranked down really hard, just snug. They are nylon, so if you crank them hard, they will break. So the other thing that will happen to this arm, if it's pushed down too hard on this right here, then it does have a spring that will break away on it. That's usually if it hits something on the ceiling, which shouldn't happen in this particular facility. But what will happen also is that sometimes that'll get out of alignment. So there's an adjustment here, this 13mm bolt right here, and then you'll put a 17mm on this. This will actually hold up the end of that arm straight while you tighten that.
So it looks like it's dipping a little bit on the far end. Is that what you're adjusting? Or?
Yes, you can adjust that with this. You'll loosen up that 13 there, straighten it up, and tighten the bolt back up. It is important that this end cap stays on it. I noticed that one is already missing. The end cap holds the moving parts in place. There's a 5mm Allen wrench that holds that in. The only other thing that can happen with the straight arms is that somebody can lift this gate up. And if they do that, there's 2 17mm nuts right here that can be loosened on the hub, put in the right place, and put them back.
Is there any preventative maintenance, like greasing, bearings, anything like that?
No, they're all sealed bearings on it. It has a 2 million life cycle on it, 2 million up and down. So after about 2 million cycles, you'll start to hear the gate squeaking inside, which means you replace a maintenance arm in there. This SKIDATA gate has a key switch installed in it. Since there's no switch inside the actual gate to raise and lower the arm, just insert the key here, turn it, it'll raise the gate. You can leave it raised if you want. If you desire to put it down after a car goes through, or a truck with a trailer, we would definitely say to raise the gate up, don't let it go through. The system thinks that it's tailgating if it has a trailer behind it, so it will come down on the trailer. Turn it back, take the key out. This will time out and go down in 10 seconds, about right now. So this is an in-lane UPS and an uninterruptible power supply. It has a switch on it which will turn off the power to this gate. The UPS is now on. So there's power from 120 and there's your battery power.
So the only power actually comes from the UPS unit. If the UPS malfunctions for some reason, will the gate still work?
No, the power comes up through the UPS device. If for some reason you're getting into it and pulling the head off the gate, we would definitely tell you to turn off the power at the UPS or at the breaker or somewhere else. If the power goes out, we usually tell people to come over here and take off the arms or raise them up with the key.
On the key, you said you could raise the gate up and lock it out raised up. Can you lock it down in the down position?
Just by turning off the power to the gate.
Okay, but not by the key. You can't.
No.
Okay.
So your service manual is inside here. Yeah, they really are maintenance free. So
they have to freeze or anything. You ever get too cold that they stop working?
No, The gate actually has a resistance through the motor that's down here, and the motor keeps everything warm. General maintenance, I would keep it wiped down. So and straighten out your arm so it doesn't look unpretty.